All right, for more perspective on the white paper, let's bring in our rise analyst and lawyer, Barrister Frank Tietie. Barrister Frank Tietie, glad to have you.
Thank you.
Join me on the program. What's your sense of the comment of the Lagos State Attorney General that there are contradictions and that renders the report unreliable? Those two words, contradictions, then gaps, and of course, it makes it, in his own evaluation, unreliable.
I think the comments by the Attorney General were a serious disservice to the Lagos State government that started very well. The Lagos State government has not and is not bound by the recommendations of the panel. Now, it didn't have to put the panel on trial the way it is doing now, thereby taking away all of the positive impact the panel had. Nobody forced the Lagos State government to set up a panel. So when it set up the panel, by our administrative law and practice, which clearly with judicial authorities to that, judicial decisions up to the Supreme Court to that extent, the Lagos State government, and indeed any government that sets up a judicial panel of inquiry, is not bound by the recommendations. So why come out and make the panel appear to be a group of persons that didn't know what they were doing? Whereas, if you looked at the terms of reference that were given to the panel, you can say that the panel did extremely very well. You can recall that the governor expressly told the panel, go ahead and listen to victims' petition, take evidence, make recommendations, summon certain persons, even to the extent of issuing check immediately for certain compensations that you as a panel you have determined to be proper. And then why come and subject the panel to this kind of public trial, making a ridicule of the entire process?
Are you being fair to both the Attorney General and the Lagos State government who set up the panel? You've just mentioned it there. The AG talked about the fact who shot who didn't shoot who, where was this done, and the fact, no, you were talking about paying compensation. He talked about that. But, you know, you were saying they threw it away. Let me point this out. I don't know, maybe by way of correction. Out of 32 recommendations of the panel, 11 were accepted.
That's fine.
1 was rejected.
Yes.
And then 14 was sent to the federal government because it was outside the jurisdiction, as it were, of the Lagos State government.
Let us not play the ostrich and that buries his head on the sand and forget that the most important point of that panel that caught global attention was the fact that persons died. Now, if the government of Lagos State did not accept that, it should have stated that to that extent. The reason why, and I stated it when I had opportunity the last time.
Are you saying the government should accept everything?
No, the government is not bound to accept everything or anything. The government also is not also bound to reject. But you see, we are talking about government business here.
So what are they supposed to do?
If the government was going to reject it, it wasn't supposed to do it in the manner that they are doing it now, putting this panel on trial, ridiculing itself.
No, it's not ridiculing.
Let me tell you, the language of administrative law and practice should have been that the government of Lagos State is going to look further into this particular recommendation. Yeah. That would have settled it. But to come and now say a judicial panel of inquiry that made its own rules. Its rules were not subject to the conventional rules of evidence, the law of evidence. It made its own rules. It determined what it believed in. So why set up a panel, give it so much powers, and only to come and make a ridicule of the panel, even when it made obvious mistakes? You don't do that. That's not how to run government business.
But it wasn't the first time. If you remember, they put a panel. There were objections. It was taken to the court, and certain things were rejected. But that's not my question.
It's a different matter. Nobody has challenged this panel at the court level because a white paper had not been issued. Let me tell you, the white paper is until now. The white paper is very important. Yeah. Until the Lagos State government issues a white paper, to the extent that it has rejected or accepted a certain number of recommendations, that the report of the panel will not have any value.
Okay, so what you're saying, let's understand you, is that the Lagos State government should have just shut up his mouth.
the Lagos state government should have been more discreet in the way it responded to the panel.
Well,
the
discreet
panel
is
report.
relative.
No.
Let me ask you
a
this.
A white paper, well, you see, the reason why most reports in our country reports of panels of inquiry in our country haven't seen the light of day is that you don't even get to see white papers being issued. The Lagos state government went ahead, promised that it was going to release a white paper in 2 weeks, and it did. I have always praised the Lagos state government.
Yeah.
But to the point that the manner it is going about this, it's just a travesty of the good work that the panel has done. Let me tell you, the most important value of what the panel has achieved is not making recommendations. It is the fact that it gave opportunity to persons who couldn't have been heard by the world to be heard. That is the principle of fair hearing. And that was applauded, and we all joined to applaud
by the Lagos state
government.
All right,
but don't put that panel on trial. You don't lose a case in court and then you invite the judge and then begin to flay the judge and say the judge didn't know the law, they didn't do this. We see all of these manifest inconsistencies, errors and mistakes in judgments, but we don't take the court on trial. And the Lagos state government setting up a panel to put up a white paper does not have that committee does not have the right to now put the members of panel or the panel itself on trial the way it is doing. This is not proper for administrative law and practice.
All right. Well, that will be your word against the Lagos state government. Thank you so much.
We have the laws. We have cases. We have the case of Thai Industries and the governor of Oyo State.
Right.
And to a large extent, the Supreme Court has even made decisions on that. This is not the proper thing to do. We've had a culture of panels of inquiry since 1960.
We'll leave it here. Barrister Frank Tietie, always on fire. Thank you so much for your presence here on Newsnight.